Hey everyone, it's Sandy Peckinpah. I am joining you live on Periscope this Tuesday afternoon. And I'm going to welcome replay viewers, by the way, because I know that you may be watching this at any time in the next couple of days or a week from now. Whatever day this is for you, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to be talking about high vibe goal setting. And I'm also going to be talking on Facebook Live. So I am going to start that right now, okay? So we're going live on Facebook Live. Hey everyone, it's Sandy Peckinpah joining you live, and I'm dual broadcasting. So I'm broadcasting on Periscope over here and Facebook Live over here. So welcome, welcome. And if I don't see your comments or that you're joining, I'm so sorry. I can't see both screens at the same time, but I see Cynthia's on Periscope. Yay, Cynthia. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to be talking about high vibe goal setting. And high vibe goal setting has a whole different approach than just writing down your New Year's resolutions. Believe me, I have learned firsthand this year about high vibe goal setting. And I'm telling you, it is astounding the results that you get when you're doing the high vibe goal setting. So we talked yesterday about what it feels like to be in a high vibe. And what is that? It's that feeling of passion. It's that feeling of, oh, hell yes, that's what I want to do. That's what makes me feel good. And when that happens, you come alive with possibility. I mean, think about the old tired New Year's resolutions. I mean, they are so boring. People can hardly stand to do them. But what makes a high vibe goal setting as opposed to a resolution? A resolution is a resignation. Okay, I have to give something up, or I better start an exercise program. But what if your goals were magnetically drawn to you in a really positive way? And so that you became alive with this magnetic response. You draw what you want to you. I mean, it is a miracle when that happens. And I see on Periscope, Patrick joined. Welcome. So we have a lot of our regular people and then some of our new people. And if you haven't been with me before, I just want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Sandy Peckinpah. I'm an author and I'm a business professional. I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker. And one of the things that I passionately love doing is helping people realize their full potential and wake up their creative lives. And I am really proud of the books that I have written. I know that they've made a difference. I know there's a story inside of you. And even if your story is never written, knowing your story and really the impact that it can have on another life when you share it is hugely profound. And I know I've had such amazing connections in my real estate transactions because of my personal story. So I can tell you that it's an important part of who you are. You're on this planet living a life, and this is a really important part of that. So Joseph Campbell, I shared with you yesterday his quote that he wants the privilege of a lifetime to be himself. The privilege of a lifetime to be yourself. How good does that feel? To really be doing the things that you want. Well, I can tell you that you don't have to wait for New Year's resolutions. You don't have to wait for a certain, like the beginning of the month. Every day we get an opportunity for renewal, every single day. And that is such a great feeling because when you raise your vibration, you're able to constantly shift and adjust your goals because they're going to be coming flying at you. So, the higher you make your vibration, the more likely you are to achieve your goals. Hey, Judy. Judy just joined us on Periscope. I switched it around a little bit, Judy. Today I'm broadcasting Periscope on the phone and Facebook Live on the iPad. So we'll just see how it works. I hope I can see the comments really well. So the higher you raise your vibration, the more likely you are to achieve your goals, and things will be magnetically drawn to you. Now, I can tell you that if you start thinking about what is your highest hope, because a lot of people don't know what their highest hope is. Hey, Mark, so glad you're here. I'm just talking about raising your vibration, the high vibe goals, and how they make a difference in our lives, whether we achieve them or not, is by raising our vibration. We talked about it yesterday. I set the stage for today's conversation. We're actually going to have a 1, 2, 3 on how to do this. So, what is your highest hope for this year? It's the one that raises your hand with a, oh heck, yes. That's what I want to be doing. And the excitement goes with it. It's like suddenly you can't stop the possibilities. The possibilities are endless. Now, for example, your highest hope might be to have a relationship. And yet, if you look at your life and your home, have you created space for it in your world? You don't know whether you've created space for it or not. Hey, Carol, so glad you're here. I love when people join on that I know, and those that I don't know, welcome. I'm so glad to get to know you. You know, for those of you on Facebook Live, I guess I have to clarify that I've been doing these broadcasts. I've done over like 350 of them now on Periscope for the last 2 years. Every Monday through Thursday, I choose a topic. I research the topic. I decide, you know, what do I think that my audience would really benefit from? What would I benefit from in sharing that information? And we've had some fabulous conversations. Fabulous. Right? Right, Periscope peeps? I love them. They are so loyal and they come to me night after night. And I learn as much from doing this as I hope I'm giving to you, because it's an opportunity for me to really be the researcher and the teacher that I am. And thank you for the hearts that are popping up on Periscope. That's really, wow, I have 1,500,000 and something thousand hearts on Periscope. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that on Periscope, people can tap the screen when they acknowledge something or want to say that they agree or that they're just sending the love. And it's so beautiful because when I first started out broadcasting, and thank you for the love right now, when I first started broadcasting in August or September of 2015, I thought, oh, if I could only get to 100 hearts, if people would watch me and only get to 100 hearts. And now I have over 1,500,000. So those hearts are like gold to me, and I treasure every one of them. And thank you. Is that you, Cynthia, sending them? Oh, and Judy's sending them right now. And I see some hearts on Facebook Live. Yay. So I was talking about raising those high vibe goals, okay? So your highest vibe, your highest hope might be to have a relationship. But if you look at your home, if you look at the space you've created, if you look at your life and how you've scheduled it, have you made a space for a relationship? Have you? You know, my desire was to have a relationship with my audience, to start Periscope, to do it on a regular basis, which is also live stream broadcasting for those of you who don't know on Facebook. And I kept thinking, oh, hey, Jill, I'm so glad you're here. And I kept thinking, if I could just establish an audience, that would be my highest hope, to be able to have some place to share the knowledge that I so lovingly study. I study so many books and feel so connected to being able to share this information with you. I thought, will I ever have an audience? Hey, Courtney, welcome. And little did I know, that was my highest hope, was to be able to have a platform for me to share what I've learned over the years. And lo and behold, Periscope came along. They were the first broadcasting live stream that I was aware of. And it gave me a platform. And it was a It fulfilled me. It fulfilled my highest hope. So hang in there with me, because I'm going to give you the 1, 2, 3s on how to establish and bring in and attract your highest hope. So one of my co-hosts from the radio show that I used to do in Northern California on KNRY AM Talk Radio, she said that oftentimes she's an interior designer, and oftentimes she'd go into homes of single people, and they would say, oh, but someday I want a relationship. And she'd go into the closet and she'd say, there's no room for a relationship here. You filled every inch of your closet with your clothes. And I remember listening to Joel Osteen one time, and he said that he recommended to a woman who said, oh, someday I want to be married. And he said, well, go buy a wedding photo album, an empty one, and put it on your coffee table and look at it every single day, because someday you're going to fill up that photo album with your photos of your wedding. And sure enough, she did. This is the story he told. Well, your highest hope might also be that you want to create a business. Maybe it's a business of making handmade candles, or like one of my followers on Periscope. Her desire, she was a veteran of the war. She was 100% disabled Marine. And she had a brain injury, but her highest hope was to create a business making soaps and bath products for people, and also donate a portion of her proceeds to vets. And to this day, Trisha is doing exactly what she intended to do. She raised her vibration. She used recipes from her grandmother on how to make soap. And then she became very artistic. She makes beautiful soaps. I've sent them to friends. And that was all from raising her vibration and her purpose. She aligned her talent with her desire and her passion, her energy, all of it. Now, your highest hope might be something like this, but your expectation is, oh, it won't really happen. It can't possibly happen. And how many people do you hear that say that? Oh, well, she's more talented than I am. Oh my, negative thinking is holding the reins on you ever being able to achieve your goals. And it sabotages your enthusiasm. And it's that little voice in the back of your head that says, oh no, you're not good enough. You can't possibly do that. We all know about that voice, right? Right, Periscope peeps? We do. Your highest hope can get sabotaged so easily. Oh, and I see, thank you. I see you agree with me. Your highest hope can get sabotaged so easily by that negative thinking. Now think about this. Maybe you've wanted to write a book. That was my desire. In 1989, I wanted to write a book. And yet I was scared to death because I thought, oh, there are so many people out there who can write better than I have. I've never written a book before, and I wonder if I can do it. And if I do it, who will read my book? Well, I had to raise my vibration and realize that I was being called to do this for a reason. My heart was calling me to do this. I could feel the energy inside of me. And I visualized how good it would feel to have that book in my hands and be able to take it to school with my daughter to read to her class. That raised my vibration because my emotions were attached to it, and it happened. And that's called high vibe goal setting. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it because I've done it time and time again. And it's the reason why I've written 4 books. It's the reason why I finally got into Huffington Post now 3 times, because that I've set the high vibe goal setting. I knew it was going to happen. I kept erasing all of the doubts when they would pop up, and believe me, they popped up. Oh my gosh. So, oh gosh, here. Sorry, I see my battery's going to die. So hold on, let me just plug it. Sorry. Goals. So here's the secret to high vibe goal setting. Goals have to evoke passion or you won't do them. Everything will sabotage you. Goals have to have excitement and a bit of a challenge or they won't happen. They might shift and change as you approach the finish line, because sometimes my goals didn't turn out exactly as I thought, but they were a form of that desire, that goal, and that's okay. For example, when I was sharing with you about being a talk show radio host in KNRY in Northern California, I thought when that station got sold, so it was no longer the formatting for talk radio. And I was so sad because I loved being on the air. I loved it. And we went for a while to Phoenix, Arizona on KFNX, but that was only for about a year. And but my desire was to be a talk show radio host again, because I love being able to share my information as I shared. Well, I kept feeling that desire, that calling, and raising it with a high vibe of emotion, thinking that it would happen. And what did I do with it? Well, that was about the same time that Periscope happened. Hey, Courtney, you know what? Oh gosh, I can't read the comments. I'm so sorry. It's a little too small for me. Gosh, I'm sorry, my dear. But I'm going to go back and read every single comment as I did yesterday when I broadcasted. I got to figure out a way to make my comments a little bigger so that I can see them, but I apologize for not responding. I just can't see it. And if I put on glasses, then it just reflects, so it's uncomfortable. All right. So that I raised my vibration. I had this desire to be a radio talk show host again. I missed it. I loved it. We did it. It was called Passion by Design. How fun is that? We had such a great audience, and I kept visualizing it happening, and lo and behold, Periscope happens. Oh my gosh. I didn't get just one radio show a week. I got to have as many as I wanted on Periscope. And so that I attribute to high vibration. I totally came my way as a result of me setting my intention and my goals. Now you may be feeling roadblocks, and it might be something like money, confidence, time, commitment. You know, Tony Robbins often says that people often overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So you have to keep striving to achieve. Don't give up, because if you give up, tomorrow could have been the day that it happened. Now, a perfect example of that is my Huffington Post articles, because I truly believed that I just had to keep trying. I kept submitting, and I thought, oh, I'm so discouraged. Maybe they don't like my writing. Maybe it's not good enough. Maybe, I don't know what it was. It was so discouraging. And I just kept striving to achieve it. If I had given up, my first article wouldn't have been submitted last October and accepted and promoted. And my second article wouldn't have been accepted and promoted. And yesterday, my third article was accepted and promoted on Huffington Post. Now, I can tell you, Huffington Post has been a dream of mine since April of 2014. Now, it took me 3 years. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Wow. It's been my goal for 3 years to get an article promoted on Huffington Post. And it was my highest hope. And I kept visualizing what it would be like to go on Huffington and see that it had arrived, that it had been accepted. I never lost sight of that vibration or the way it made me feel. Think about your highest hope and think about what might be blocking you. What might be blocking you? Is it money, time, effort, doubt? Is there a way to solve those issues one step at a time? What if you could solve those issues, strip away the negativity, and feel the purest form of your highest hope? What if that happened? Hey, Stephen, thank you for joining. Start thinking about what others are doing that you want to do and model that. What obstacles do you think they had? No one has it easy achieving their goals. No one. And you can look at them and see that you want to aspire to all that they are, but it's not without heartache. It's not without trying. It's not without hard work. But when you align yourself with your highest hope and your passion, the hard work is pleasurable. Like what happened with my book, How to Survive the Worst That Can Happen. It was my desire to write this book since my son died in 1993. I knew I had a book inside of me to write about my experiences, offering strength and hope and resurrection from the depths of despair for other parents. I knew I had it inside of me. Was it hard work? You bet. It was the hardest thing. Some nights I would just be in agony writing it. But when I finished, I recognized my agony was really joy because I had achieved what I set out to do. So sometimes there's a fine line between the feelings of frustration and anger and hard work, but it can bring you joy. And there's no better feeling in the world when I hold this book in my hand and know that it's helping other parents survive the loss of a child. I had to remove obstacles to get there. I had to carve out a time. I had to say that it was my highest hope and I needed to stay committed to it no matter what. People just don't instantly have self-confidence. They just don't. It's one step at a time. And even when you achieve something, sometimes it's working those steps all over again. Because in December, when my second article for Huffington Post was accepted, and then guess what? It took me 4 months to get the courage to submit another one. And that's the truth. Hey, Jane, you're on Facebook. Jane is one of my viewers from Periscope. So glad to see you. I can kind of see names a little bit, but if I miss you, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go back and see every person that watched this broadcast. So I'm going to give you the 1, 2, 3s, I promise, of how to raise your vibration and how to set those high vibe goals. Think about this. If you knew you could not fail, what would you be doing? If you knew that you could not fail, what would you be doing? That's huge. So now it's time to get the 1, 2, 3 of how to raise your vibration and set your goals with wholeheartedness. Wholeheartedness. And I'll tell you the secret to making it happen. Number 1, you're going to set the stage. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize your life as though you've achieved your highest hope. And you're going to do this for 5 or 10 minutes and just enjoy the pleasure of feeling it done. Enjoy the pleasure of visualizing yourself holding your book in your hand, the book you always said you wanted to write someday, or driving the car that you always said you wanted to drive. I fully believe I attracted my new car. I'll tell you why. Because I did my vision board. I thought, it's been a while since I've done a vision board. So I decided I'm going to do a new vision board. It was a Sunday. And I did my vision board and I cut out a picture of a silver Mercedes and I put it on my vision board and it sat there for 24 hours. And guess what happened? My current car died. And my vision board, I'm fully convinced, killed my car. I'm fully convinced. Because literally the next day, that happened. And my poor little Escalade had to be practically towed in to my mechanic. And he said, Sandy, I don't think there's any hope. And guess what happened? Hey, Brent, so glad you're here. Wow. Oh boy, I'm having the best people join me today. Thank you. So I was just talking about how my vision board killed my car. Because on my vision board was that silver Mercedes and another white car. And I'll explain that in a minute. And I did just what I'm telling you to do. I have like several steps, so hang in there with me. I closed my eyes and I visualized myself driving a new car. As I said, literally the next day, my existing car died and there was no hope. My mechanic said, time to buy a new car. I'd had it for 12 years. I get attached to cars. Lo and behold, I looked and looked and looked, went to Tucson to visit my husband, looked for cars, and I pull onto the lot of the Mercedes dealership, and there was the exact car that is on my vision board. It was like the Hallelujah choir started singing, and I knew it was mine because of the vibration I had put out to attract that car. Yes, thank you for the hearts, by the way. Yes, it is true. For those of you on Periscope, you know what I'm talking about because I've shared this with you before. But for those of you on Facebook, I don't think that I've shared this before. So how hilarious is that? I'm telling you, this works by raising your vibration and using the high vibe goal setting technique. Because what I did was not only did I make a vision board, but I wrote about it. I wrote about it as though I could feel it. I knew what it was like. And when you write that down in a paragraph, then you're feeling the passion. You're raising your energy. A goal without passion can't rise to its greatness. And then you're going to set an achieved by date. Now that's step 3. Step 1, set the stage, close your eyes, visualize. Step 2, write it down with high emotion. Number 3, you're going to feel the passion while you're writing it. A goal without passion cannot rise to its greatness. And number 4, you're going to write an achieved by date. Now I hate the word deadline, so that's why I use achieved by date. A goal without an achieved by date is put into the category of someday. Those goals are not fulfilled a lot. Sometimes they get fulfilled, but not all the time. So after you do that, you're going to start really attaching your gifts and talents to your goals. When I knew I wanted to write a book, I knew that I was good at speaking, so I could share my information. I knew that I was good at social media to share about my book. I knew that I was good at helping other parents with compassion and understanding of the process of surviving the loss of a child. So I wrote down, I am good at connecting with people. I can write. I can tell my story. I can make my story, share it in a way that can lift up other people. You attach all those things that you're good at. My friend who started the soap business, who is the war veteran who's disabled, and she did her soap business. She said, I knew I was good at making soap. I had my grandmother's recipe. And she said, I knew that my artistic talents and my passion to help vets, she attached all of that to her business. And today she's running a successful soap business and raising money for vets. Number 6, you're going to write the things that your negative self is telling you. And then you're going to strip them away. You're going to cross them off and dismiss them because they no longer have a place in your life. Dismiss them. When you visualize all of these roadblocks, it prevents you from taking the next step unless you give them permission to leave. I no longer need you. I dismiss that negative thought. You served me for a while. You kept me safe by letting me not take chances when I might have not been ready. But now I'm going to dismiss that thought because I'm ready. Now the next step is very simple. To just write down the very next step. In the case of my book, the very next step for me was committing to a time, a place, and writing the first sentence. And that's what I did. And every day after that, I committed to a time and a place and a ritual. And I'm so grateful I did, because I'm so proud that my book is helping parents survive the loss of a child, which is, as you can imagine, the greatest tragedy. I survived that tragedy in part by writing my story. It helped me understand me better. I know who I am because I wrote that book. I pushed a lot of stuff away before then. I was layered with sadness, strife, the feeling that I couldn't do it, that I couldn't go on, that I couldn't rise to my personal desires and greatness. But writing that book was the doorway to me recognizing there was life after loss. And I got to share that with other parents. And you can't imagine how good that feels. So for those of you who have joined me today, thank you so much. I am so grateful. And as I said, I broadcast usually Monday through Thursday, depending on my appointments in my professional life, Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. And this is what we talk about. We talk about this. So thank you for joining me. I am so grateful, and I will be back tomorrow night at 5. Oh, one more thing. I am doing a writing seminar on Saturday, the 29th. If you'd like to join me, it's at the Holiday Inn in Lake Elsinore. We've got a great group of people already signed up. I have tips, tools, rituals, techniques, everything you need to know to get started on finally writing the story you always dreamed you had inside of you. And I can't wait to do it. I'm partnering with my friend and therapist, Shavana Gaylor, who is a licensed mental health professional. And what I love about her is I helped her write her book last year. She set a goal in April. She would write her book, and she wanted it done by October. And by October 18th, she had a book in her hand. How amazing is that? It's commitment. And she did it. And what I love about her is when you go through the writing process, and we're going to discuss this on, hey, Michelle. We're going to discuss this on our seminar on Saturday, is how when you start to peel away the layers of your story, there are a lot of feelings that arise. And we're going to be discussing this with a licensed professional. And I think you're going to get a lot out of it. Plus, you're going to have an outline of your book. You're going to have the first page of it possibly written, and tools and techniques to finally get you to your goal of finishing your life story. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope if you just joined, I hope you have a chance to go back and watch the replay. I'm on Periscope and on Facebook, and so the replay will be both places. Thank you for joining me. You are awesome. And my Periscope friends.